He was cool.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone. Oh, I'll stop my music real quick. My name is Shelly Saunders, Spanish here at the high school, which will not help us at all. In Japan, I only know konnichiwa. That's it. Maybe I'll learn a little bit before we leave. So this is our trip, obviously, if you're in the right place, for the 2018 trip to Japan, departing roughly around May 30th. Tonight we're going to talk about a lot of those details, but first, just to get us started, we're just going to watch this little 2.5 minute video kind of introducing you to EF Tours, a company that we'll be using, and just the idea of student travel. But that link is not working, so I have it here.
To New York, Paris, Australia, Ireland, Tokyo, Japan, Washington, D.C., Belgium. I want to explore the other side of the world. I have no idea what to pack. These are my guides to read on the plane. House credit card. To New York.
Requirement.
I say so often, I'd love to go to these places. But I long for the day that I can actually say, I fell in love with these places.
There's a lot of that going on in these trips. What about that?
On a beach in Italy. You don't understand the beauty. We're not gonna go.
Okay. So I won't be experiencing all of those things, but a few. Okay, so first of all, I'd just like to congratulate you on being here and kind of explain a little bit of the nomination process and how that works and why you or your child was nominated. So what I do in the springtime is I send out an email and I announce it to the staff, and I ask that they send me about 5 nominations for outstanding students that they have. So all the teachers send me 5 nominations, and obviously you're one of them, so you're very special to a teacher, and that says something. You know, sometimes we have up to 150 students, and they pick about 5. So that's a pretty amazing thing. So when I put on the letter 10%, it kind of varies, just depending on how many teachers actually turn in their forms to me, you know, between kind of 8 and 12. And if there's not enough, then I kind of chase them down. But that's still a really cool thing. And some of you in this room were even nominated more than once, which is pretty outstanding. So that's how that works. If you really just have to know who nominated you, I guess I can tell you that. Just really need to know. But I have traveled, done these student trips. This will be my 5th one. And I've never been to any Asian countries, so I'm really, really excited about this one. It'll be a 9-day tour. Like I said before, departing on May 30th. Roughly, we have to give ourselves about a 3-day window of flexibility on either side of that date because, and we'll know about 3 months before we actually depart the exact date. But so far, I've always gotten my departure dates that I've requested, and so I expect that on this tour we will as well. But they, they're trying to book us with the best price too, so they'll kind of wait until that last minute and maybe bump us a day or two forward or back. But our graduation, some people were thinking that was going to interfere with graduation. It's not. We graduate earlier next year. School is out. The last day is like the 23rd or something like this. So that would be a Friday, and I think this is the next Thursday or Friday. I mean, it's like a week later. So we have plenty of room on either side of graduation next year to make this trip happen. In fact, I like to do it kind of pretty close to the end of school. So I'm really excited about this tour just because this will be a completely new adventure for me. I've taken 3 different tours to Europe and 1 to Costa Rica. And, I've been to several European countries and I've been to lots of Central American countries, but Asia is just a whole new world for me. So I'll be experiencing these with your kiddos. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. I'll kind of tell you a little bit about me, just because I know that it takes a lot to put your child in the hands of another adult for 9 days in a foreign country. So I think it's important that you get to know me a little bit. I'm not the only adult going on this tour, by the way. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about our specific tour, our itinerary. We'll talk about safety. We'll talk a little bit about this company that I've used these last several times that I've traveled. And then, of course, the price and what's included and what's not included, most importantly. So I do want to do this first. No, I don't. I want to. My computer doesn't want me to. Okay. Actually, we can save this to the end. But if I forget, somebody remind me. I have a remind group, which all of your kiddos know what that is. If the adults, you don't, but it's basically just a texting website that teachers use to contact groups of students. So I have a group that's specifically created just for our 2018 travelers or potential travelers. And so I'll just kind of update you here and there and say, hey, don't forget, you need to register by this date if you're still traveling, and you can get out of that remind group at any time. This is also the same group. I have a group that is traveling this summer, and we're going to Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. And so we're leaving in about 55 days or 56 days. They're counting now. So this is when I start. Okay, don't forget, if you haven't brought your colored copy of your passport to me, these kind of like health forms, all this kind of last minute details that we add, that's when that groups becomes really, really important. So I'll put that up at the end. I encourage parents and students to be in that group. I tell them about upcoming meetings. And like I said, if you want to unsubscribe, I'm pretty sure you just say unsubscribe and you send it back. Stop. Or stop messages. You can Google it. It's pretty easy to get out of the group though. So you don't have to, if you decide not to travel, you can get out of that group very easily. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about me and my experience. I started traveling out of the country when I was in college, did a lot of study abroad programs. I've spent 3 summers in Guatemala, southern Mexico, summer in Spain, studying Spanish, obviously, Spanish teacher. And since then, I've been really fortunate enough to travel to a lot of other countries in Spanish-speaking, non-Spanish speaking. And it's something that I am really passionate about, that I really do love, and I want to see as many students get the opportunity as well. I never really had that opportunity or the financial ability, for that matter, to travel when I was in high school. And I think it's really cool for them to kind of start that journey at this point, potentially too. So like I said, this will be my 5th tour with high school students. I've also, some of those travel experiences like Guatemala and Mexico and Spain, I worked for Tarleton and helped corral college students, which actually is more difficult than high school students. Much more difficult. So I have had a lot of experience. I've only had to take 2 people to the hospital, so that's good. But the good news, neither of them were fatal, and nobody charged us anything. I took a student in Spain. She got a wax earplug stuck down in her ear canal, and we couldn't get it out, so we went to the emergency room. We were there like an hour and a half, charged us nothing. Last year, I shouldn't be telling you, I wasn't supposed to tell you these things, but I took a student that 6 hours before their plane leaves, and he falls, he's running. This is a long story, but he's really excited. He's going to get this story that he wrote for our final meeting. So we do like powwows every night. And we kind of talk about their experiences and you know, especially the last one's really important. But there was a guy that read a poem. People were crying. It was amazing. He runs to get his story back in the hotel, trips over something, ruins the whole night, and we didn't know what to do, and so we called the ambulance because we didn't have a driver, which the ambulance was very irritated us because you don't call the ambulance apparently in Europe unless things are, you know, nearly fatal. I didn't know. We should have called a taxi apparently. Now I know. So when your kid has to go to the hospital, I know exactly what to do. But he busted his knee open. He needed stitches. We went early in the morning, gave him stitches, and they charged us nothing. So ambulance and everything. It's pretty cool. But I've got really off track on the hospital part. So I've done 3 tours to Costa Rica. We've done, or 1 tour to Costa Rica, 3 tours to Europe, been to Spain, France, London, Italy, and this summer to Germany and Switzerland. And so we're really comfortable with that. This is going to be totally new, like I said. Our travel experience is also is part of our club. So any student that travels with us is part of their club, which is the acronym TAG, Travel Around the Globe, TAG. And so it's not only just a travel experience, it's something that they can also put on their college applications as part of a club. We have officers, which is really cool, and they basically help me out on tour. It really depends how much they do, depending on the size of our group. Last year we had a humongous group, so I really depended on them prior to departure and on tour to do passport checks on tour. So I had a lot of officers, and they would go and be in charge of 5 different people that would, okay, check passports, and so, or check it, you know, we would go around and check attendance, and, you know, we have these huge groups. This, I'm not taking that big of a group anymore. It was fun, but huge and really hard to keep up with. So we're kind of limiting our numbers just a little bit more this year. So, you know, for me, one of the reasons that I'm just passionate about travel, I think it's just the best thing that I ever did for my education. I started studying music in college, and as a result had to take 2 years of a foreign language, took a year in the classroom, enjoyed it, okay, and then went to Guatemala for 5 weeks and just fell in love with the language, with the people, with travel in general. And this is an avenue for me to travel to, but it's really, you know, I just love to see the kids like see these things that they've heard about in class, and it really comes to life, and just it's really neat to see the differences between day 1 and day 10 of these tours. And it's just a really cool experience that I've gotten to have. So, and another unique thing this year, this is our first time, but we'll be able to offer college credit for this tour, which is really, really neat. You can get up to, well, it'll be 3 hours college credit, a humanities course through, I forget the university. I'll pull that up a little bit at the end, but it will be on an individual basis. So students do not have to get college credit if they don't want to do that. But what they'll do is they go through this program called the We Share program. They'll just pick a project that they want to cover. You'll communicate with the professors from this college. You'll make a project kind of during, usually I believe it's just a video project that you'll have to work on, and some other elements to it. It's new to me, as you can tell, because I don't know every facet of this. I won't be the professor. It'll be one that they do through this program, but you'll be able to use it as humanities credit. And you know, even if that isn't something required for whatever major that you'll have in the future, you'll be able to apply that at least to some sort of elective credit. It costs about $300 extra to do that for the college credit, but you know, that's cheaper than probably any university, any four-year university that you're going to go to. And I think it's a really cool opportunity. So we'll be talking about that a little bit more as well. Okay, so let me hand out these. The kids already got one if they came to my other meeting, but I'll probably have extra. So I have, basically this has our itinerary, our tour number, and some other little information. So we're going to kind of go through that. Who is it that told me that? Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit in Spanish. Voy a estar hablando un poquito en español. Oh, en español. ¿O quieren otro? Oh, ¿qué hablan español? Okay. So, no tengo el papel en español, pero les voy a hablar un poquito en español. Yeah, right? So I'll just go back and forth just a little bit just to make sure everybody's comfortable. So, vamos a hablar del horario. We're going to talk about the schedule. And a lot of this is really unknown to me, like I said. So it's a 9-day tour. Es un tour que dura 9 días. Y como pueden ver, as you can see here, our first day is mostly going to be taken up by travel. And then you can kind of read through there. Pueden leer lo que hay. Pero he puesto las cosas que me interesan más a mí. So I put some of the things that really interest me as well. And these are some of the things that we talked about with the kiddos and some things I didn't mention, but one of the things I'm looking forward to, una de las cosas que más me interesa es el tren, como tienen las trenes como súper rápidas que van de volada en Japón, like they call them bullet trains. So that's going to be a new experience. One of my favorite things about travel is actually finding, like, I have a list of kinds of transportation that I've taken, so that'll be a new one. What I think is going to be really cool about this tour is the mix between the old and the new. Va a ser lo que va a ser muy interesante es la mezcla entre el viejo y el nuevo. So, like, we'll begin in Tokyo, just this really high-paced, fast-moving city. We'll get to go to one of their technology showrooms, which I don't even know what that means, to be perfectly honest, but I'm interested. We get to learn about sumo wrestling. So vamos a ver la tecnología. Sumo wrestling. Lucha sumo. No sé. Normalmente no hablamos de sumo en mis clases de español. So we don't normally talk about sumo wrestling in my Spanish classes, so that's not one I'm really up on. But what I thought was really cool too about Tokyo was that, of course, we're going to be in the heart. We're going to see the heart of the city and everything moving, and then kind of juxtaposed with seeing the great Buddha and like the Meiji Shrine, which is right in the middle of Tokyo. This kind of very peaceful, just these kind of living opposites in the same city, which I think is really, really neat. So, que vamos a ver todo lo rápido, lo de como los jardines que tienen este shrine en Tokio, como vamos a ver, opuestos vivientes dentro de la misma ciudad. So, and they said they're going to have some sort of sumo wrestling demonstration. So I hope some of you guys get to be involved in that. I will not be, but I like to push people out there, especially, people that talk too much when we're on the bus. And I'm like, you're going. But I think the thing that I am looking forward to the most is actually day 6. So I did some research here on day 6. So en día 6, investigué un poquito de lo que íbamos a hacer ese día. Y so we're going to be going, which is so cool on, we do these European tours, and a lot of times they're just go, city, museum, until you just can't even remember what era or architectural style, and a lot of times just really overwhelmed with information. So lo que puede pasar en esos viajes es que puede ser como muy difícil, like, you know, ver, aprender, ir a todos los museos y caminar esa ciudad, museo, ciudad, museo. Pero lo que vamos a ver en ese viaje va a ser la diferencia como las ciudades con la naturaleza también. So we're going to be seeing the cities as well as nature, and I'm really excited about that because I have heard that Japan is really beautiful as well. So we go into this national park. This is, we're going to take a tour, which sometimes they have these like old looking pirate ships as the tour. I don't know that we'll be taking those or not, but that's what I read about, and I thought that was really weird. They look kind of colonial, you know, in English. But we'll take a cruise on, vamos a tomar un crucero en ese lago, in Lake Ashi. And then this is Mount Fuji. You know, it's got to be right. So we'll get to spend the day as well seeing the beauty of the landscape. Vamos a ver, you know, la belleza del paisaje de Japón también. So we'll get to see not just the bustle of the cities, but kind of get outside of it too, which I'm really excited about because I think you really need both of those things to make a tour seem less exhausting and really rewarding in that sense. So that's really what I'm looking forward to. On our very last day, also I don't have a picture, en nuestro último día que vamos a tomar otro tour de Nara, or Nara, como dice. I did a little bit of research about, let's see if they have a photo. No, they don't. Should have included a photo, but we're gonna see Nara and the bamboo forest. So that's kind of another get out in the nature and see the beauty of Japan as well. And that one, it looks optional, parece opcional, pero para nosotros no es. Eso es algo incluido en nuestro tour. So this is something that it will be included for all of ours. Sometimes we have certain things that some people can do it, and some people, if they don't want to, they'll have another option. And then sometimes it's just everybody goes or nobody goes. And so for this one, it's todo or nada. It's everybody or nobody. So we're all going because I heard it was really cool. So it is included. Let's see. Continue on with this. So I did want to mention the tag, el grupo que tenemos que se llama TAG, T-A-G, o sea, Travel Around the Globe. And we meet on a regular basis leading up to our tour. So tenemos reuniones como 10 veces antes de salir, antes del tour, para preparar a los estudiantes. So to prepare the students for traveling. So I really try to make this an educational experience. You know, we actually just had a meeting. Courtney was there. She's going this year. So and she likes lots of attention. We just had a meeting and I made them bring their suitcases. We do carry on all of our tours, which is intimidating. Don't let that change your opinion of, well, I'm not going, but we all manage, except for one of my dads that has gone twice now. He ends up with 5 bags by the end of the tour. He's the worst one. I'm like, just bring your giant suitcase. It's fine. But, you know, and so I did it last time and I'll bring it at our next meeting that we have, but I bring my little suitcase, I bring it packed, I unpack it, I repack it right in front of them. I show them what that looks like, how to be a good traveler, how to be efficient, how not to, because I see these other groups and all these people, they have these huge suitcases. Poor little girls can't even lift their suitcase. And, you know, when we're traveling, everything's not as big as it is in Texas. And so we end up on a, you know, elevator 10 stories up and you got to take 2 people at a time. You know, like, no, we're not doing that. And we, you know, we have small suitcases, so if we wanted to, we could take the stairs now. We're still Americans, so they don't usually want to do that. But, so, you know, que les enseño cómo viajar bien, you know, eficazmente, you know, sin empacar todo su dormitorio al viaje, you know. So we learn a lot of lessons along the way. We usually do little meetings along the way as well to kind of prepare them culturally, just little things, you know, like tipping and money exchange, and maybe particular nuances of the culture that they really need to know in order not to offend anybody. So I'll be doing my research for Japan because that's new to me. And in Europe, there's a lot of American tourists, so it's kind of more common. But perhaps like little language phrases that we can use to get by and things like that. So we really try to prepare them educationally too for what they're going to see and what they're going to experience. Okay, so EF tours. Just so you know, I don't. I'm not like an employee. I get to travel for free, and that is my incentive, but it is a lot of work for me. I used to think when the first time I did it, oh, this is going to be fun. I'm just going to kick back. Nope. I'm still working. I still got my work face on during these trips, but it's worth it for me, and it's really cool. And so just so you know how that works, that's the benefit that I get out of it. I've used EF Tours because that's who I started with, and I haven't had any problems with them. And so I have no complaints. We don't stay in 5-star hotels. It's a student travel, but we stayed at clean, nice little places. And sometimes we have excellent food, and sometimes it's just kind of bland, but they always feed us, so that's good. And they do, one thing I do like about them is I feel really safe in the sense that every major city that we go to, there's an EF Tours office. And we have a tour guide that's with us from the moment we get off the plane, stays in every hotel with us, and is on the bus with us 24/7. And they speak the language, and so I don't have to navigate that myself. So our tour guide last time when we had to take the student to the hospital, he was in the ambulance with me, and we're working with our Italian to communicate, and he really took care of us the entire time. So it's not, I obviously wouldn't be able to do that with my one word in Japanese that I know, and so they're really in charge of it, and I just help coordinate, make sure everybody knows what time we're meeting, behavioral things, any kind of problems that come along the way. That's my job. He or she takes us wherever we need to go, and we've always had really great tour directors before. So let's see. Kind of talked about that. I just really haven't had any complaints with EF Tours so far. So I'm going to continue to use them until unless something happens. Okay, so there is an insurance plan. It doesn't matter to me if you get the insurance or if you don't. We've had several students that have used it to their benefit, but I would encourage you to do a little bit of research if you do decide to travel on this tour, so that you're well prepared on that if you cancel, how much you could potentially lose. So the insurance covers illness and accident. Now, I will tell you this, just in full disclosure. Oh, wait, I don't know about Japan. I was going to say, in Europe, healthcare is essentially nothing. I know nothing about Japan's healthcare. You want to Google that. But I'll tell you this, it's not going to cost what it costs in the United States. But we're talking about catastrophic injuries, something where you would have to be flown out there. I believe it covers that. Flight delay, all kinds of stuff. Just look into that loss of baggage or property. We usually don't have that problem because we keep our luggage on us, and so we don't tend to lose our baggage as much as other groups do, because we do go carry on. But it's still possible. Last year on our way, they did make us put the baggage underneath, and we did have a girl that her luggage was delayed 48 hours. It wasn't lost, but we haven't had the lost luggage yet. So I'm going to look into that. So let's just kind of talk about the price and what you're responsible for, and what is covered in the tour. Almost everything is covered, to be honest, but what is not covered in the price of this tour, obviously, are passport fees. So if your traveler does not have a passport, they'll have to apply for one. And we'll go over all that in our meetings, how to do that and the cost of it. But I think it's about $135. Is that right? So that can be something that's done well in advance and should be done well in advance. Oh, so lo que no está incluido en el precio de es, el pasaporte y tampoco las propinas. So, and we also have a tip fee. This is an average of $6 a day for our tour director, la persona que va a estar con nosotros todo el tiempo. So, como $6 al día para el guía que va a estar con nosotros. $3 a day for our drivers, so $3 al día para los conductores del bus. About $1 to $2 for our local tour guides, y como $1 o $2 para los guías locales. So el promedio es $10 al día. So the average is $10 a day. And that is something that we collect at least a month before we leave. This is standard. It's not shady or anything. The students they give the money to me. So in this case, it'll be $90 for the tips. En este caso va a ser como $90. Y me lo traen, and they bring it to me como un mes antes de salir. And I dole out the money along the way. Because that would be a nightmare. Think about it. Every time we go through a tour, everybody get out $1 or whatever that would be in Japanese money. So, man, I should have done a little bit more research. But, so ellos me lo dan y yo les doy a los guías las propinas durante el viaje. And then at the end of the tour, this is just my policy. What I do is I pay our bus driver and I pay our tour director. If there's any extra money from that $1 a day average, I give it to, I split it up between those if they're good. If not, then I'll give it to the other. So eso es como $90 el pasaporte, y obviously you're spending money, el dinero para gastar durante el viaje. So our which they kind of average $30 to $65 a day. Oh, plus lunch. So breakfast and dinner is included, hotel, airfare, all that stuff, but lunch is not included. Okay, so tienen que pagar su propio almuerzo, solo una comida al día. Tienen que pagar, que no está incluido en el precio. So lunches, souvenirs, $90 per tip, passport. That is what is not included. Eso es lo que no está incluido. I guess you have to get a visa for. That's not, again. Only country I've ever had to get a visa for was Brazil, but I don't think we'll have to get a visa for Japan. So what it does include, lo que sí incluye el precio is everything else. El vuelo, los hoteles, desayuno y la cena, breakfast and dinner, our hotels, our tour director, el guía, all the little guides that will get along the way, all the museums, everything else is included. And in our case, La Excursión a Nara, the Nara excursion is also included in our price as well, because like I said, I put that as obligatory, so it's all or nothing, so we're all going on that. So, okay, el precio. So actually, dice aquí como $3,990, pero we do have a little bit of an asterisk on that. I kind of had to work this because I don't usually wait this long to give us a discount. But if you sign up before Friday, they will take off $100 from that price. Basically, they'll give you the Nara excursion for free. So si se registran antes de viernes, te quitan como $11 del precio, okay, del total. So it would actually be $38.90. Now these are tours discounted for students. So this is the student price for $38.90 if you sign up before Friday, and for the adults it's always more because it's discounted towards students. So if there is an adult in the room that is interested in chaperoning, let me know. I tried to give what's the word? Preference to the students travelers first, but I like to have as many adults as possible. I just feel like that kind of protects us as a group and just helps in general. So I will be traveling on this tour. There's another teacher, hay otra maestra que va a ir con nosotros, Miss Ortiz. She's normally my buddy and co-teacher that always travels with us, but she's not here tonight. She's about 2 weeks away from having a baby, so I didn't bother. She's got other things she's got to do. So she'll be traveling with us, and you know, hopefully some other parents maybe in the room. I really like that. So we usually have maybe 4 or 5 adults that kind of end up traveling, just depending on our group. So you have some options on how you can pay. So hay opciones en cómo pagar. Obviamente pueden pagar todo a la vez. You can obviously pay all at once. Nobody will tell you no on that one. But then the other two that most people pick between are the automatic payment plan, which you can do bi-weekly, bi-monthly. Usually my students do that on a monthly basis. So la mayoría de mis estudiantes hacen esto como es un plan automático que pueden hacer como normalmente lo hacen como cada mes. And it's just they take it out of your bank account, which at our case I think is about $300 a month at this point if you were to start it now. And then the manual payment plan, there is a $50 tacked onto that if you choose that option, but I do have several students that do that as well. And you can really work that out with EF Tours. So they have this little thing where they want 500 total paid, 30 days after enrollment, additional 500 paid. That's what they want. I promise you, if you call them, you say, I'm going to pay at this time, they're going to say, okay. So if they're, you know, if you have a certain time that you're waiting for to pay, that can all be worked out through customer service. Okay, I've had a lot of students that are waiting on whatever tax return or whatever, and they want to pay when they want to pay. That's it. We haven't had a problem as long as you pay, you know, before we buy our plane tickets. Okay, so si lo pueden hacer en realidad como quieran. Si hablan con el servicio, hablan con, you know, ellos, you know, EF Tours. Make sure I haven't missed anything. So everybody asks me about fundraising, and you know, this is a lot of preparation and a lot of work for me. So I don't do any fundraising that's through, you know, that I schedule out. However, I have had students and parents get together and do their own. I had a girl this year that raised every penny of her tour, which was about the same price as this one. So you know, yo no lo hago personalmente, pero lo pueden hacer ellos, you know, para you know, ganar dinero en otras maneras. EF Tours has like a tour donation page. It's kind of, there's things like that I'm sure that you've seen on Facebook, right, where people put posts. It's kind of the EF Tours, and so actually that's just cool because they'll directly go into your account. So si quieren como pedir como donaciones de familia, lo que sea, pues como hacer este post en Facebook or another social media, en otra como media social, y otras personas pueden donar a tu cuenta, so people can donate to your account, and it goes right into your personal account. You can also do, you know, those other programs, like GoFundMe, right? That's a really common one. I've had students really raise a lot of money doing that. So, but the girl that I mentioned earlier, she did a lot of just fundraising, and I think mom and dad made a pact and said, this is what you're responsible for, but she raised the whole thing. So I don't do it, but I'll get a list together, and I can you know, send it out to you guys if those are interested in fundraising on your own. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. I want to go to the other side.
You have to drag it.
I do? Wait, like this? No. No, it didn't work.
You have to drag it this way to the left to get it
Oh,
to
okay,
close.
like this.
I
Probably.
thought you just press on here.
I
I think it's not color.
It's fine. Yeah, I don't think so either. You're right. So what you can't read is just that one number. Spots available. I love to open up the opportunity to as many as possible, but I am going to limit this one to 25. just for my own sanity's sake. It's fine on tour, but it is difficult, and I just worry a little bit more when I'm, counting the kiddos, and and just prepping beforehand, make sure that I have all the paperwork and make sure everybody's accounted for. I am going to limit this one. So 25, I know that's kind of mean, but I think we'll be okay. And really, my tours, they really do vary greatly. Last tour I had 34, so I did have well over this number, but this tour we have about 21. So it might be no big deal, but it might be kind of a rush to get into those slots. So like I mentioned before, there is that $100 discount that ends this Friday, the 14th at midnight. I am closing our spring enrollment on May 15th. That's just for me to go, okay, this is the number. We've got that we're keeping with, and I can choose, just to stick with that number. If we get to 25, then we're done. If we still have a smaller group and I want to open it back up in the fall, sometimes I do that. It just kind of depends. It depends on how many chaperones I've got going as well. I just kind of look at that number. But before Friday for the $100 discount, by May 15th, closed, or May 15th, or when we get to that 25. Okay. So in order to enroll, you can go online. Solo hay, lo que estaba diciendo es que solo hay como 25 lugares para estudiantes que pueden ir, y es los primeros que se registran. And es antes de viernes a la medianoche para ese descuento de $100, y permanentemente lo vamos a cerrar el 15 de mayo, la registración. So you can register online or on the phone. Se puede registrar en línea o en el teléfono. Y pueden usar, este sitio. You can use this site, or you can just go on eftours.com and put this little number in right here, and everything will pop up. So I've seen that there's got a lot of hits on the website already. So ya han visto muchos de ustedes, sitio de web y lo que hay. So pueden ir a eftours.com aquí y escribir este número. Or you can just call customer service and do it online if you would like to do that. And the number is there. So I'm going to pass out these little cards. I would like, if there's extra, that's okay. You can just leave them on the table on the way out. Would you like you to fill out one for each traveler, please? Kind of give me, I like to keep my list updated so that I know kind of where you're at, and I know to stop bugging you if you've decided definitely not to go. Or if you're still in limbo and I say, we have 23 spots filled up, and I can tell you, hey, you're still thinking about it or no, because you may want to do this. So I just kind of like, slightly check the off
Ooh, she's still in.
So please fill it out for me, even if it's a no. That helps me. You're like, you saw that price and you're like, oh heck no, not happening. That'll help me out. I'm gonna put my reminder up here as well. And I've had a lot of students that have used this travel experience for scholarship essays, for college applications too, that have really boosted, kind of given you a leg up, and it gives you something to talk about where other students don't necessarily have this message. Okay, so this is our remind group. This is where I can send you text, you can also text me. Eso es un grupo de Remind, donde yo les puedo enviar text, mensajes de text, y ustedes me pueden enviar text también. So if you'd like to join the group to get the reminds, this is open for parents, and I encourage it as well, so you can contact me whenever. Then send to this number, 81010, you're going to send this text. It's the @ symbol, 67B 626. Yeah, and if you want to write that down, if you're like, well, I don't want to start, but you can always unsubscribe if you want. You can write down time later. So it's the @ symbol 67B 626. @ symbol 67B 626. And you're texting that message to 81010. Okay, does anybody have any questions before, I'll go back to that here in a minute, but does anybody have any questions that might be relevant to the whole group? I'm welcome, I will stay afterwards. You can ask me individual questions. Yes, yeah. Right.
Does the $100 come across to the adult as well?
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And so you won't see that because they're usually don't do the discounts this late in our registration. You won't see that discount when you sign up. It will go, I will make sure it'll go back and get taken off posthumously. So after the fact, it'll get removed. And if it doesn't, let me know, but I'll talk to him. Any other questions?
Si se registra antes del viernes, ¿tiene que pagar algo?
Okay, so para registrar. So his question was, if when you register, do you have to pay something? Or if you register before Friday, the initial payment, la única cosa que tiene que pagar al principio es $95. So para registrarse, sí, tiene que pagar $95. So in order to register, you do have to pay $95. That would be, el mínimo. Obviamente pueden pagar más. That would be the minimum. So you could pay more, of course, or go ahead and sign up for the automatic payment plan or plan it however you want. But just to register is just the $95. So think about the insurance as well. Yes.
Do you have to choose the insurance at registration?
I was just thinking about that question. I really don't know the answer to that. I think they have. I'm not positive, so don't quote me on this. But I think there's a date. There's like a cutoff for when you can add that insurance. But I don't necessarily think it's like a one-time. You do or you never do again. I think they'll take your money even later. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking what's beneficial for the company. So,
Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. Go ahead.
On the online registration?
Yeah.
Is that gonna cut off? Like, is that gonna separate adults and children? Is that gonna affect the number on there? Like when everybody's registering?
No. No, we'll just make it first come, first serve. Is that your 25?
Yeah. I didn't know.
I just want parents to come too. I want parents to come too. So sign up if you're doing both. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, is it gonna knock students out from registering if the parents register too on there?
If you're a parent and want to register, let me know before you register. Then I can kind of see. And if we're like, okay, we're good, then we'll just let it be. And if not, I might ask to wait. Okay. Yeah.
Would our regular health insurance cover any kind of medical expenses?
That's going to be dependent on your particular healthcare coverage. Now, they're not going to pay for you to fly there and all that kind of stuff.
So that's what
'Cause
the insurance is to get us to him.
if you needed to, yeah, or to fly him back early or something like that. But it will also pay medical costs there, from what I understand. So, but read the fine line, or you just talk to customer service. That's probably what I would do instead of combing through all the stuff, So, any other questions? Sí.
Registro antes del viernes con los 95.
Sí.
Si quiero hacer los dos pagos, ¿qué es el plazo para pagar cada pago?
It's like todo en dos pagos. So he's asking if I go ahead and pay the 95 and then I decide later on that I want to pay in 2 payments, basically, how do I do that? Well, you know, they give you kind of a guideline, te dan un guía para pagar, pero la realidad es que lo puedes hacer como quieras. Te dan una fecha en que sí tienes que tener, you know, pagado todo, pero lo puedes planear como quieras. So you can plan it like you want if you're doing those manual payments. If you talk to them on the phone, you can say, well, I'm going to pay this, you know, or this is my plan, but they're not going to cancel you. So no le van a cancelar hasta like 2 meses antes, you know, up till like 2 months before. If you still haven't paid anything, todavía no ha pagado nada, y es como te falta como 2 meses, and you still have like 2 months left, then yeah, they're going to kick you out. Be like, okay, well, que no van a pagar. But lo pueden organizar como quieras. Okay. So you can organize it as you wish. Other questions? Yes.
Do you have the process, like
The price?
for the adult and the process?
Oh, yes. Here, I'll go back.
For 40 and 39.
Oh, that's what the problem is. It's not calibrated. Really? Oh, there it is. Wow. Okay. So that's like really off. There it is. $39.90, $44.40.
It's $335 per month.
Okay. Yeah. So for students right now, it's $390 per month. Or I'm sorry, $300 per month. $290. Any other questions? So as you leave, please place your cards here. I'll be happy to ask. You know, one more question? Yeah.
If they decided to do the tuition, is there an option for that to stay and give you?
I've never had a student extend that part of the tour, like the additional thing. I'll ask about that. That's a good question. I really want to do that, but I was scared like the price would scare people off. But I don't know if because sometimes we combine with other tour groups, and if they're continuing on, then they can continue on. But I'd have to look into that. I'll ask about that.
If they do continue on, you go back with the rest of the group.
Yes, I travel with the big
And the sole group.
Yeah. Now there has been one time when I sent back the group with another teacher and I stayed.
Mhm.
But I don't see that happening in Japan. They'll be a teacher no matter what. But
Can students want to extend?
okay, last question, and then I'm gonna let you guys go so that see.
Para a ver si lo entendí bien. El viaje es en mayo de 2018.
Sí. 2018. Not this. That happened to me last year too. Eso me pasó el año pasado también, que algunos pensaron que iba a ser el próximo verano. You know, but
O
sí.
sea, entonces el dinero del viaje se va a pagar durante
Durante el año. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, exacto. So yes, so we have 14 months or so, como 14 meses para pagar.
Okay.
So about 14 months to pay. Yes. Mhm. You're welcome. We try to plan early to give you some time. That's a little financial hit. Okay, so leave your cards here if you have any more questions. I am here until you are not. Thanks for coming. I'm going to send out on my Remind group the video for this meeting. So if there's another person